we were being told Shohei doesn't want this, Shohei doesn't want that. It really never was about Shohei. It was what the translator didn't want. We just didn't. Not a player on our team who doesn't love him as a teammate, no one who works harder.
ドジャースの CEO のスタンカス選手が米国の経済専門チャンネル CNBC に出演しました。その際、10分以上にわたり大谷翔平選手のドジャース野球界への功績などにつき熱心に語っています。訳しました。
Couple Shohei Otani questions for you. Is there a way that you can quantify the business impact that Shohei has had on the Dodgers? Like, is there a number?
There are many numbers, none of which I will share publicly, but yes, all I can say is it exceeded everything that we anticipated. And we anticipated a lot. We didn't know it would have this kind of impact. But more importantly, not just for the Dodgers, the impact it has had for Major League Baseball. The combination of the Dodgers' long-standing legacy and stature in the sport, combined with this newfound celebrity of the most popular global baseball player right now, has really propelled interest in our game, not just domestically, which it has, but increasingly around the world. And that's a great opportunity for baseball to capitalize on. We've had our eye on greater internationalization for a decade or two. This has really given us a heads up, a leg up on the next thing that we can do, not just in Japan, not just in Korea, where we also have had players from, but increasingly around the world where baseball is reaching out. You've seen all that baseball has been doing in Europe for the last few years.
Yeah.
That is continuing. We have our eyes on the Indian subcontinent because of their affinity for cricket and the similarities to baseball. So this newfound attention that baseball is having because of the Shohei phenomenon, yes, it has impacted us tremendously, but it's been an even bigger impact for baseball at large.
So it sounds like what you're saying is it's only a matter of time now before we start to see major league caliber players come out of Europe, potentially come out of India. Am I putting words in your mouth?
No, I hope that's right. I was in the NBA before we had any Europeans in basketball. Try to imagine the NBA today without Europeans in it, right? So that day is coming, that day will get here. I don't know when. I don't know if it's 2, 5, or 10 years, but all of us have our eyes on it. And with increasing globalization, with increasing exposure of our game around the world, will come the next wave of players also, and that'll be a great day.
Well, I guess one of the potential hurdles of that, which is not a case for a combat sport, is that baseball's complicated. Like, there's a lot of rules that do you feel like that's a hurdle as you expand the game internationally?
And yet 7- and 8-year-olds seem to do just fine
in this
with
country.
It. Okay.
Sure,
exactly. So it can't be that complicated.
Well, I suppose.
It's not a run up and down and hit a goal thing like hockey or like basketball. But even those things have rules around the edges. Yeah, ours is 3 outs, 3 strikes, 4 balls, 9 innings. Like I said, 7- and 8-year-olds can master that. So I don't think it's too complicated.
I guess, yeah. I mean, 7- and 8-year-olds can master a language too, but try teaching a 50-year-old a language, you know? It's a lot harder.
Well, that's why increasingly we need to make sure every 7- and 8-year-old is exposed to baseball. And that's why it's so important that we get even more exposure across every platform we can think of.
Another Otani question, because you kind of led right into it, which is that you said he exceeded your expectations. Yeah. You tried to sign Shohei, whatever that was, 7 years ago or so, at that point, and he said no, and he signed with the Angels. Then you got to him this time. What has surprised you the most about what your expectations were when you signed him to what actually has happened?
Well, there's 2 things, 2 ways I'll answer. First, the business side is obviously it has increased our revenues, ticketing, sponsorships. You look around our stadium, we have a lot of new sponsors that weren't candidates for sponsorship a few years ago because we have a lot of foreign international sponsors. So that has been helpful. You can't walk around this stadium any time of day, any day of the year without running into a group. And we have 4 different languages for our groups. Every day of the year, we have business coming in. I've heard a number that 30% of the visitors to Los Angeles from Japan make a stop at Dodger Stadium. So those are some of the business things. One of the things we learned after the news broke in Korea about the swindle of his translator was we didn't know all the things about Shohei that we know now. Once that wall came down, before then, we were being told Shohei doesn't want this, Shohei doesn't want that. It really never was about Shohei. It was what the translator didn't want. We just didn't know that. Once he left, all of a sudden, and that wall came down, we realized what a funny guy he is, what a fun guy he is, what a cooperative guy he is, what a great teammate he is. There's not a player on our team who doesn't love him as a teammate, no one who works harder. And a lot of those things we didn't know when we signed him. We were going to sign him anyway, because just what he does on the field is amazing. But we've learned that subsequent, and it's just been fantastic.
I mentioned Yamamoto and Sasaki also. I'm curious, have you learned anything about international scouting or player evaluation?
I was in the league when Ichiro came over. Until then, we didn't know that a position player could make it in the major leagues. We didn't. And it was an interesting thing to watch. Turns out he could be the best player in the game and go to the Hall of Fame, even after a Hall of Fame career over there. So I think it's just more reinforcement that their quality over there in Asian countries, particularly in Japan and Korea, also in Taiwan, they have players who can play over here. We're just spending more time and resources because all of us are greedy. All of us in baseball, we're all looking for the next best thing. And so we're out there scouting more so than we did in the past. But it's just reinforcing what we've known now, at least since the time of Ichiro arriving.
カス選手は先日、ドジャー女子のポッドキャストにもゲスト出演し、大谷現象について女子たちと盛り上がりました。こちらもご覧ください。
Sometimes I have to shut it off. And sometimes when I just really need some sleep, I turn it off.
We can't all get the 10 plus hours like Shohei, right?
I know, right?
Yeah. Wow. That sounds like a dream come true. Wow. That is amazing. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of overseas, we were able to go to Tokyo, and what an experience.
I got this dress in Tokyo.
Yeah, she did get that dress in Tokyo. And that was just such an experience. I mean, as a fan who's loved baseball my whole life, to be there and see it through a whole different culture's eyes and honestly feel like what you guys are building and the culture you've built through the Dodgers feels like the respect and the love and the it felt so in sync, but on a whole different level there.
Yeah, we were blown away. I mean, not just because Shohei's face is on every billboard and every commercial, but walking around and seeing everyone in Dodger hats. I mean, we really are building a beautiful community through our podcast, and we met through the Dodger community, so we are already so grateful. But to just walk around and be amongst each other, and I mean the silence when Shohei got up to bat at the Tokyo Dome is something we'll never forget.
Two things stood out to me. One was what you just talked about, the omnipresence of Shohei, how overwhelming it is. It's we talk about Lionel Messi and we talk about Michael Jordan, and Shohei's like that. He's one of those, especially in Japan, and increasingly around the world, not just Japan. That's number one. Number two, though, what we are doing is what we knew we were embarking on when we got here 12 years ago. This was the Dodgers, okay? Mark and I first set out to buy another team, which was for sale at the time, and then when we were told the Dodgers were going to be available, we both looked at each other and said, whoa, that's a whole different thing. And it was, and it took an extra year.